refresh. Oh, no, no, here. Select stream, refresh. Stop it, kitty cat. Live chat. Alright, go. Hello, chat. Okay. And then test, test, test. Yeah, there, that's working. Okay. Here, you know what? I'm gonna post this over in like Twitter and social media because why not? Why not? I might as well. I'd like people to jump in, dude. Content. Let's see, live. What's going on like right now? See, right here, dude. Here, get shareable link. Get shareable link, and then I can go over here and be like, new post. Hey, I'm live streaming Minecraft and stuff right now. Check it out. Okay, there we go. Post. Okay, and then I can do it in Facebook too. Why not, right? Okay. Da-da-da. And then here, comment right here. I'm gonna go like, there we go. Facebook is weird. So Facebook, like, you can't just like put the link in the post because Facebook will see the link in your post and be like, oh, if someone clicks on that link, they'll leave Facebook. So Facebook will downgrade your post if there's a link in there. So in order to get around that, so Facebook doesn't downgrade your post, you have to put the link in a comment instead of the main post. So it teaches you, Facebook teaches you to take screenshots but not link the source. Because if you link the source, then your comment gets downgraded to be seen by less people. It's like Facebook is like the anti goodness. It's just like, what's the best or what's the worst practice? Let's find the worst practice and enforce it. But it's kind of like that with like, I'm kind of just feeling like bad lately. Like reading the news. Like, so what, today is the 29th, right? So coming up, big vote, right? To a vote they need to pass in order to keep the government running. It'll only be a partial shutdown because they funded a lot of the government already with the one big beautiful fucking bill that before. So it was only going to be a partial shutdown, but a shutdown, nonetheless. Some other stuff, right? So Dems had leverage, even though they don't have enough votes to pass their own legislation. They can force the Republicans to concede a lot of things, in order to pass the budget and reopen the government. And the Dems have a lot of power now because the fucking feds just murdered 2 people in Minneapolis. And people are pissed. People are pissed. So the Dems have a lot of leverage. They have a lot of power to force the Republicans to fucking stop their fucking shit in their invasion of all these American cities with their agents. So right sounds pretty good. The votes, like the deadline is tomorrow, the 30th. It sounds like the Dems are in a good position. So what happens is, let me check the news here. And what happened at 3:25 p.m., about an hour ago, Chuck Schumer comes out of the White House. And Chuck Schumer says, guess what, everybody? Guess what, Democrats? I made a deal with Donald Trump. And Chuck Schumer says, guess what? Check out this awesome deal I made with Donald Trump. I made this deal, me or Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Democrats, Chuck Schumer made a deal with Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer managed to separate the funding on the vote on ICE from the government budget, so we can keep the government open and then vote on the ICE thing separate. So because otherwise, oh no, the government might shut down, right? So Chuck Schumer doesn't want that. Donald Trump doesn't want that. The Democrats don't really want that. The Republicans don't want. Nobody wants it, right? Nobody wants the government to shut down. But the Democrats can make the government shut down if the Republicans don't do something to stop ICE and DHS, because they stopped going after criminals a long time ago. Because there's just not that many criminals. Instead, what they're doing now is they're going after any non-white person that they know about. And they know about them because they're going through the process of getting citizenship or legal status. They're going through the process. And ICE is going around and fucking kidnapping these legal ass people. These people going through the legal process and then fucking deporting them. So the Dems have a chance to stop this from happening. They have the power to do it. That they'll threaten to shut down the government. But their leader, the leader of the Dems, walks into a room with Donald Trump and then walks out and says, guess what, Democrats? That leverage that we have in order to stop these things, I've taken it away from you. It's gone now. Chuck Schumer took it away. So Democrats are now weaker when they go into negotiations with the Democrats. So now the Republicans say, why should we do anything? What are you going to do? Shut down the government? Oh, wait, no. Your leader gave that away. You can't do anything now. You can't do anything now. Wow, dude, Chuck Schumer is an awesome Republican. Chuck Schumer gave away the leverage that the Democrats had. He just gave it away. Here. I'm talking, right? No, here, look, right? I'm gonna just go grab this real quick. Can you see that? Is it on? Yeah, right? Democrats' White House strike spending deal that would avert government shutdown. Chuck Schumer gave away all the Dems' leverage. Here, Washington. Democrats in White House have struck a deal to avert a partial government shutdown and temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security as they negotiate new restrictions for President Donald Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. As the country reels from the deaths of 2 protesters at the hands of federal agents in Minneapolis, the two sides have agreed to separate. Chuck Schumer agreed to separate Homeland Security funding from the rest of the legislation and to fund DHS for 2 weeks while they debate Democratic demands for a curb on the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. The potential deal comes after Democrats voted to block legislation to fund DHS on Thursday. So the Dems are getting ready to do this. And Chuck Schumer's like, oh shit, I have to stop these fucking Democrats from wrecking everything. So Chuck Schumer runs over to Donald Trump, says, Donald Trump, quick, I've got, while I have the power, let me give away this leverage that the Democrats have. That way, when we go that way, they can't stop you, okay, Donald Trump? Chuck Schumer, and then Chuck Schumer's like, okay, let me go tell the Dems. And then Chuck Schumer says, guess what, Dems? I took away all your leverage. I don't know what to do, right? I'm like, it feels like a betrayal. But I don't know if I can say that. Trump said in a social media post that Republicans and Democrats have come together to get the vast majority of the government funded until September, while extending current funding for Homeland Security. He encouraged members of both parties to cast a much-needed bipartisan yes vote. So, Speaker Mike Johnson told the Associated Press on Thursday that he had been vehemently opposed to breaking up the funding package. But if it is broken up, we will have to move it as quickly as possible. We can't have the government shut down. So in other words, Mike Johnson will have to get the House together to vote again on the budget. But that's maybe then I don't know. Maybe I'm too hard on Chuck Schumer. Because if it goes back to the House is in an interesting position, the Republicans, because their majority has slowly shrunk over these past 2 years. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene fucking quit. She fucking quit. She just fucking quit. She's trying to do the Liz Cheney thing and take control of the Republicans from like the traditional side of where the Republicans used to be. Before they went MAGA. So, and like another dude died out of nowhere. One of their reps died out of nowhere, and they're not gonna have time to do a special election in order to get a new person in. So I think the House majorities are really, really, really slim, or like really, really slim, and there might be some Republicans who are like not on board anymore. Who will cause a ruckus. So I don't know, right? I'm like super angry at Chuck Schumer, but he may know more than me. I don't know. Maybe he didn't give away all the Dem leverage. Maybe he avoided like bad press, and realized that the Republicans couldn't get it done in the House. Because if they do the change where they break it apart, then that means it's a new bill, and the House has to vote on it again. Because any changes that the Senate makes, if they make a change, that means the House has to agree to it again, vote on it again. So it could be that this is like a move by Chuck Schumer to kick it back to a House that can't pass the bill anymore. But I don't think so, right? Why would that do it? Like, well, why would Mike Johnson be opposed to it? I don't understand why he would be opposed to breaking up the bill, unless he was afraid he couldn't get it done in the House. That's like the only reason why I can imagine that he would be opposed to breaking up the bill, is that he is afraid that he can't get it done in the House. Now that like Marjorie Taylor Greene left and that some dude died, yeah. Anyways, yeah, hey, back to Minecraft, right? Check out these green lights. You can't see them now, it's the daytime. Let me show you at night though, right? When it's nighttime. It looks really cool. I like the green lights. Green. Oh yeah, here, a bunch of stuff, right? There's a... Oh, what are you doing here, dude? What are you doing here? How did you get here? Where did you spawn, homie? So he has I don't want them spawning anywhere except for up there. So I'm kind of confused on how this guy spawned out here. Did he spawn on that block? Like, I need that, like. Yeah, so the carpet stops him from spawning. Carpets and transparent blocks, you can't spawn on them. You can only spawn on solid blocks, and these should be the, yeah, see? It should be like that. These should be the only solid blocks where he can spawn. And then he drops into the kill chamber. The kill chamber. The killing chamber. Anyways. So, okay, yeah. I made a bunch of changes. Improvements. I made some improvements. So, over here, number one, right? The iron blocks. All the iron blocks now easily managed. Nice and clean. So how does that get here? That's a whole process. Wah! It used to be here where I used to get the iron, but now I've replaced it. So what this is the killing chamber is over there, and it goes through this hopper pipe. And it comes to this first contraption. This contraption on this side is just an item sorter. And all I'm doing here is sorting out the poppies. And I'm putting the poppies directly into a composter, which which then like deletes them, because I don't really want the poppies. Alright, and the next part is the more interesting part, because that takes out the poppies. Now all that's left in the stream are iron bars. So it comes over to this redstone machine. Now this has the new block, which is the crafter. And what happens here is once this fills up to all 9 slots, they all get filled up with an iron ingot, and that it'll compress it down to it'll automatically compress it down to a iron cube, square, a cube block, an iron block, and it'll spit it out into this box, which puts it into these hoppers, which puts it into this dropper, and it's a dropper elevator. This thing, I mean, you can't see it really, but like this thing, what it does, it's simple. An item goes into the dropper. It's read by the comparator, which turns off that torch. That torch was locking this hopper. It locks the hopper, so the hopper can't move. But since the torch is turned off, now the hopper can move. And this thing moves from this side to the empty side. Now, this comparator is like, oh, there's a guy here. So it turns on a signal here, which turns on that redstone torch. Or which turns off that redstone torch, and then it just cascades up the signal, right? And that powers the droppers, or propelling the item inside the droppers to the chest I have up there. It's ingenious. So basically, it's 2 machines mashed together. Technically 3 machines if you count the item sorter, but yeah. That's a lot of what Minecraft is. That's what a lot of Minecraft is. Oh, what's going on? Okay, it says I'm lower bitrate, but it should be like fine, unless Comcast is screwing me right now. Like, I'm way below the maximum. It must be Comcast messing with me. Comcast! like, I wanted to buy a house for multiple reasons. One reason was to get a fiber optic line, so I don't have to deal with Comcast, and I'll have like really good upload speed. Another reason is so I could do gardening, but yeah. Anyways, okay, so those are those 2 machines, right? Then I had a problem. My other problem was that my bones, all the bones I was getting from the mob farmer up there, which follow into that thing and go back here to this very large item sorter, it was filling up. It was filling up all my chests. It was getting full. So I fixed it with new Minecraft technology. The new Minecraft technology is the auto crafter. that thing is awesome. It's great. So the way this one works, and basically this is what this does is it takes bones. The first one takes a bone and it smashes it into bone dust and spits it out to this one. This one collects all the bone meal, and when it gets all 9, it'll pop out a bone block and then spit it into the chest. So I've already filled up the bottom one, and now I'm filling up this one. Like, I make a lot of bones, man. It's kind of crazy. And the way it's powered is these 2 observers look at each other. And when 2 observers look at each other, they constantly They constantly emit a signal out the back, and that's that signal strong powers this guy and weak powers this one. You got to learn about Minecraft Redstone to know the difference about strong powering, weak powering. But basically, when you have a power directly into a block, that block is strong powered. But then it also powers the block behind it. but not strongly, only weakly, which means it doesn't go anywhere else. The signal can't go anywhere else. You can't take a signal off of this guy and go somewhere else with it. It won't work. But you can do it off of this one because it's strongly powered. You get it? Minecraft is weird, right? It's logically weird. But consistent. That's the magic of it. It's consistently. It's weird, but it's consistent in its weirdness. So it can be worked with because it's consistent. Yeah, you can adapt to the weirdness. So yeah, that took a long. These changes took a long time to build, man. It took a long time of trial and error, and oh yeah, and I made this back staircase. So when I cure a zombie villager and send them down below, I don't have to run all the way over there to the stairs. I can just use these stairs and go down quickly. Usually faster than the zombie that makes it. Watch out, kitty cat, you might get smushed. Anyways. Yeah, politics, man. It's a fucking crazy game. I probably pay too much attention to it from back here, but like we're in such a crazy time. Like I was just remarking to myself, it feels like we're in a Cold War. We're in a Cold War. Like face to face, we're generally civil to one another because no one wears their politics out loud. So everyone looks like a blank slate to everyone else. There might be some symbols. Some people might have more symbols like signifiers than others, but generally people don't have blatant signifiers out of political affiliation when in daily life, generally speaking. So you don't know if someone's a MAGA or if they're just like a regular American. And the difference is important because MAGA is increasingly white supremacist. Like, I didn't know this. I thought Fort Sumter was the first time the Confederates attacked a U.S. fort. But I had heard that the Confederates had been attacking forts for years prior to that, but the president just didn't do shit about it until Lincoln got in. Lincoln was the first U.S. president to not take Confederate shit. So yeah, it feels like a cold civil war because sure, face to face in person, Americans like in like normal situations, public, Americans are civil to one another in general. You know, I need to turn this off. But you go on the internet, and yeah, it's vicious. And of course, if you're in Minneapolis, or if you're in Memphis, or if you're in Los Angeles, or if you're in Portland, or even here, it's not fucking cold. It's not a cold war. It's a hot war. People are getting fucking hit with munitions. They're getting killed. They're getting kidnapped. They're getting terrorized by the government. They're getting terrorized by fucking brown shirts. Like it's a cold war. It's a cold war if you're like not in a hot zone, I guess. But if you're in a hot zone, it's fucking hot. It's a hot war. Like, they're going door to door, dudes. They're going door to door, fucking hunting people. It's like a slave. They're like slave hunters. They're slave catchers, is what they are. They're slave catchers. Yeah, like when I was young, I used to have like I was aware of all these injustices perpetuated by the American government. So I had like I was really negative. I was really critical of the United States. And my white friends would be like, "Oh yeah, you hate America." They would just like say that to me all the time, and because I was angry at these things, I saw it happen, and I didn't have enough an awareness and understanding, education. I didn't know enough to realize that the America as it's the America from like 1965 onward was a different America than the one prior to 1965. Like, once the Civil Rights Act took effect, America started moving to be towards a multiracial democracy. Like, the actual embodiment of its ideals, right? It started moving toward that direction. Prior to that, it was Jim Crow. We had fucking apartheid. And so I look at World War II, and I look at everyone being like, yeah, the Nazi busters, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, man. We kind of had Nazi shit here, too. Like, that's what Jim Crow was. It was Nazi shit. But not Nazi, it was American. You can't even call it Nazi. It was homegrown American fucking shit. Homegrown American racism. Apartheid. American apartheid. That's what it was. American apartheid. Jim Crow. The codification of racism. Fuck. And that's what the regime is moving to get towards again. Is a new Jim Crow. They want to reestablish Jim Crow. And they're moving in that direction really, really quickly. Like, there were plaques up on around the house around where George Washington used to live that indicated he was a slave owner. Like, remember, in ancient Rome, right? In ancient Rome, when generals or emperors, I'm not really sure which one, people would come back from a fucking ginormous victory, and there would be a big, huge parade saying how great they are. I forget who this was. This is a real thing. I need to look it up. Why'd I come back here? They would pay a guy to sit right next to them while they're getting cheered as being like awesome and superhuman and everything, and like amazing. And they come back from victory and everything. They'd pay for a guy to sit next to them and whisper in their ear, "Remember death. Remember death. Remember death. Remember death." So their heads never got too big. How did that connect? I was gonna connect it. Oh shit. I forgot how I was gonna connect it. I just fucking spaced it. Damn it. Damn it. Too many things at once, because then I'm like, oh yeah, I want to make a fucking train line to that mountain there. If I go that way, I'm going to hit that tree. But that's okay. Shit, I forgot. I forgot what I was talking about. Here, let me get this going, and then I'm gonna start. I can start up again. Oh, I mean, I was just talking about the fucking. Oh, the way that well, I was talking about how we had Jim Crow apartheid here. That the country, as it exists, only has existed since 1965, the Civil Rights Movement, when it started to become a multiracial democracy. And then, but now we have this fucking resurgence of, and I wanted to say Nazi, but it's American. It's American. It's American hate. It's American fucking fascism. This has nothing to do with Nazis, dude. This is all fucking pure American bullshit. Pure American racism. The original. Since 1619. I mean, even earlier than that, right? Well, I don't know, not earlier than that. I mean, when did they start fucking killing the Native Americans for their land? To steal their land. Like that's the thing, right? I had good reason to be real harsh on USA. I had very good reason. And my white friends like wouldn't look at it. But it's the reason why I was so harsh on America is because on USA is because it failed to live up to its stated ideals. It said it was about truth and justice and liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all. You fucking made me say that shit for years, every fucking day. For liberty, with liberty and justice for all. You didn't think I'd believe it? With liberty and justice for all. And now the government's acting like a fucking fascist piece of shit. So yeah, when I was, the reason why I was angry at the United States is because it failed to live up to its ideals. And it took me a long time to understand that there was a lot of sacrifice and change made to transform the country and the world into the version I saw as I was growing up. Like, it used to be way, way worse. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's go. So yeah, we're at the situation, right? Like, Cold War, Cold Civil War, Cold Civil War. Like, would it do any good to have a gun? Like, look at Minneapolis, right? Would it do you any good to have a gun? You would have to muster a huge number of people with firearms and be very coordinated to stand any kind of chance, right? Because, and even then, as soon as you do something, they're going to be able to call in thousands and thousands and thousands of more people with way more hardware than you. You'd get crushed. So guns only become an issue once you're getting to like fucking nation-sized like conflict. Anything smaller than nation-sized conflict, they would just crush you with their superior firepower. That's why I think Minneapolis is doing it the right way. I mean, like doing it the right way. I don't know. Whatever way they're doing it is working because like they're forcing the federal government to change, to make changes. I mean, I know for sure that a violent reaction would not have worked. Like that's what LA started doing, and all they did was send in the National Guard. So I think what Donald Trump is trying to do is take control of the voting, of the ballots, of the voting mechanisms in those states, in Oregon, in Minnesota, in Maine. He's looking, he's already going after Georgia, right? He sent his goons to go after the voting machines in Georgia with a lawsuit. In 2020, Donald Trump called up the Secretary of State of Georgia, and he recorded it, and said, "Hey, Secretary, I'm Donald Trump, and Secretary of State, like I'm losing Georgia. I've lost Georgia by 11,000 votes. So I need you, Secretary of State. I, Donald Trump, need you, Secretary of State of Georgia, to quote find 11,000 votes so I can win the election there. That's what I want you to do." And like I say that, right? Do you want to hear it? Let me play it for you so you can hear it. Because it's better if you hear him say it than me. See. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I have a very nice voice, but listen to you for yourself.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Do you understand that? He's like, I need you to find me enough votes to make sure that I win the state. So Donald Trump tried to fucking steal the election in Georgia. I mean, he tried to steal the election in 2020 a lot of different ways, right? He's a fucking criminal, dude. He didn't just do January 6th. He had multiple ways he was trying to steal the election, and they all fucking failed, thank God. Oh God, it's getting dark. You are likely to be eaten by a grue. Yeah. Anyways, so that was one of the ways he tried. He tried to call Georgia and pressure the Secretary of State of Georgia to find enough votes to make Donald Trump the winner of Georgia, so then Donald Trump could win the 2020 election. And he refused to do it. That guy refused to do it. He refused to find extra votes and overturn the election. So Donald Trump lost the election, and the DA of Georgia sued Donald Trump and everyone involved in a RICO case. They were going to, because it was a conspiracy to overthrow the election in Georgia. But the DA ended up doing some, she had relations with one of her subordinates, and then promoted that subordinate on this case, onto this case. So the Trump team was like, oh, you guys were fucking. You cannot be the person to bring this case against me because you two were fucking. And the Republican judges agreed. So the Republican judges of Georgia kicked off the DA from working on the case. And the new person who picked up the case was a Republican. So he killed it. He's like, oh, no, we're not going to follow this at all. We're not going to follow this at all. We're not going to look at this at all. And now that the new Trump-friendly DA dropped the case against him, now Donald Trump is coming back and saying, oh, actually the other way, it was actually the opposite. Actually, the Democrats cheated in Georgia, and we're going to send investigators to uncover the information to prove that. See? You see how that fucking works? Donald Trump is a fucking piece of shit. Fuck Donald Trump. God damn, he's fucking evil. I fucking hate that guy. So like I literally hate that guy. I've spent a huge part of my life trying to warn people about what a piece of shit is Donald Trump. Because I understood that he was a fascist and he was an existential threat to the United States. I fucking stood outside of the Salem Saturday Market for like 2-3 years every Saturday morning, holding a sign saying that was Donald Trump was a traitor who was working with Russia to overthrow the election, and I was calling him a Nazi. And I got so much shit from people, from the MAGAs, and they called the police on me like 6 times. 6 times they called the police on me. And so, like, I was like lucky they never fucking arrested me, because police can just make shit up and arrest you, right? They never did. Like, different kinds of police came out. The state police, the local police, like the sheriff, like all sorts of different like fucking law enforcement people came out to like, because they tried to get rid of me. They tried to get me to stop standing outside their market screaming that Donald Trump was a Nazi. Fuck, dude. Like, I was like going to this McDonald's near my work every morning before the COVID stuff to get coffee, because, you know, cheap coffee, dude. And I didn't want to pay Starbucks. I mean, like, I don't know. Starbucks was too expensive. The independent coffee place, the coffee didn't taste good. And McDonald's was like consistent. So I'd go to McDonald's for coffee in the morning. And there was this group of old people that hang out there, and they're from Texas. And I could overhear them talking up Donald Trump. So I tried to earnestly go over there and have a discussion with them, earnestly, about how Donald Trump was actually a traitor working with Vladimir Putin to overthrow the United States. And they started fucking making fun of me. Like, no shit. Old people making fun of me, like clowning on me. Old people. I got pissed off. I fucking got pissed off. That pissed me off. So I went home. That's where I made my sign. Do I still have that? Like, it's been transformed over the years, man. I've had this sign for fucking years, and it's evolved over the years. But this is the sign I had up, and I held, and I would go in the morning to McDonald's. I'd buy my cup of coffee, and I'd sit in the table right next to them and drink my coffee like this, right in front of them. And they got so mad. And one day they called the manager over, and the manager was a MAGA like them. So the manager came over and saw my sign, and he called the police. And the cop came over. And at one point I was holding my coffee in my hand, and the old woman grabbed my hand holding the coffee and started shaking it. Hot ass coffee, dude, and she's shaking my fucking hand. Like, these old white people are fucked up. Old white people can be fucked up, man. Yeah, dude, it was fucked. So it got to a point when they called the manager over, and the manager called the police to 86 me. Which, you know, it was like, I had no beef with the police. I had no beef with the manager. I had no beef with anybody. I was just holding my sign, and the old people couldn't handle it. I would go to the Starbucks near my work for a break, because, you know, it's good coffee, man. And it gets me out of the office. But then I saw a car with a Trump sticker outside of the Starbucks. So I was like, huh. And I went in there, and, you know, whatever. I saw this old guy just sitting there. You know, he was just old guy just sitting there. And we're just chatting it up, right? I'm just chatting. And, like, I try to tell him about, you know, try to, like, talk about current events, the news and stuff. And as I tell him about the news, the current events, like, he consistently takes pro-Trump positions. And, like, I forget, I don't know, like, what happened. I don't know how it escalated. But it got to the point where, like, he insulted my father. He insulted my father at some point. And that fucking pissed me off. and he was just saying a bunch of Nazi ass shit, right? He was saying like Nazi fucking shit and like agreeing to it and saying, oh yeah, all this Nazi shit. And we're sitting in a fucking Starbucks, and I just lose it. I stand up and I fucking point at him. I just start shouting Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. They fucking kick me out. The next day, I do the same thing. I go in there, I see the guy, get my coffee, I point at him, and I fucking shout Nazi, 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 Nazi until they kick me out. So then, I made another sign that said Republicans are Nazis. And on my lunch break, I would go outside on my lunch break and hold the sign on the corner near my work for my lunch. For 30 minutes, I just stand outside the traffic holding a sign that says Republicans are Nazis. Yeah, a lot of my coworkers saw me. At one point, one of my coworkers like stopped me in the cubicle, because the cubicles don't really make a real halt. The cubicle pathway, because it's like a field of cubicles, the office. And so there's pathways, cubicle pathways. I was walking down my cubicle pathway, and this coworker was like opposite me, and he said something like, "Yeah, I used to play football in college." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't." And he was like, he wouldn't let me go past him, right? He was standing like in front of me, and then he went down like on all fours. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he fucking ran at me and like body checked me. Not hard, but he fucking body checked me. Like, holy shit, dude. Another coworker stopped me in the bathroom and was like, "Oh yeah, I got this cream," and he's like, because he works out, right? So he's like, he was like, "Yeah, it really makes my," and he's like, "It really makes my muscles really strong." And like, I don't know, like, was he like sharing a health tip, or was he like subtly threatening me? Like, all sorts of little fucking little shits, little shitty things. One coworker would like, every time they would walk by my cubicle, they emit a loud sigh. Every fucking time, every day. All sorts of little shit, right? All sorts of little shit. I fucking was anti-Trump because I fucking saw it from miles out. I saw it. And like, I believe firmly that if Americans understood what was coming, that they would be able to unite against it. And boy, was I fucking wrong. Americans, dude, the idealized version of Americans that I had was fucking shattered, destroyed. Like no one gave a shit, or they were actively hostile to me. Either they didn't give a shit, or they thought I was crazy, or they were hostile. They I would go on walks, like on my break. I would go on walks outside. And one day I just saw, a random person walking by. I saw, older woman, and we started talking. And like, I mentioned something atrocious that Donald Trump had done. And she's like, "Oh, I love Donald Trump." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I love Donald Trump." And like, I don't know. I was like flabbergasted. I was like, "How can you love Donald Trump?" And I started rattling off all the terrible things he's done. And she's all, fake news. And she's like, "You're a bad person." Like, and like, "I know where you work, so I'm gonna call your boss." And she did. She called my fucking supervisor. She tried to get me fired. Like, yeah, dude. So like, when I say it's a Cold War, that's what I mean. Like, people are trying to harm each other. The opposite sides, well, no, I'm not trying to harm anybody, but they're trying to harm me without like violence, like a Cold War, harm without violence, a Cold War. Fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. You have no idea how much I've been fucked with. For years! For years! Let's see. I can. What about if I stop up there? And then make stairs down? I guess. I'd have to start turning like now. I don't know. I can't make it perfect. I'd have to like. I'll have to come back and do it. Let me just make it straight first. Yeah, man. It's a Cold War for sure. So, and like, it's coming from me, a white passing dude. Like, imagine if you're a minority, what it's like for you. Fuck. Like, more minority than me, because I'm clearly not, like, not clearly, but like, I'm not pure white, right? It's pretty obvious. You know, my last name is Gonzalez. But I can, I can talk a certain way. I can talk in a way that makes me pass. Yeah, in some ways I should just go to a new office. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I like my job, don't get me wrong, right? Don't fire me. I like my job. I just don't see I don't think I have any future there. Any advancement. I mean, do I necessarily want to advance? Kinda. Like, I should probably do two things. Apply for a promotion and then also apply for another, like, lateral position somewhere else that has a possibility of a promotion in the future. Because close enough, right? Or should I be more hardcore about it? Ooh. Almost lost it there. Lol. The world's smallest the world's smallest swamp. Mangrove swamp. 2 trees in the desert. Look at, there's a guy right there saying, "Come hang out with us." Well, no, he's saying he'd say like, what are they saying? All right. I'd have to make like a path. So stairs. Dude, this is crazy. Yeah, stairs down. Let me go say hi to the villagers. Stairs down. Hey, villager. Hey, what's up? He's like, leave me alone. I got nothing for you. Okay, hey, look at this desert-ass village. It's pretty tiny, man. You got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings, maybe. Not much of a village, but that's okay. The network starts. We'll begin. Yeah, what's the path? Dude, show me the path. This is the way. Yeah, it's not management fucking with me, it's other people. It's other workers. Well, now I work from home, so it's way better. It's way, way better. It's incredibly better. Two. No, yeah. A little bit funky, that's okay. It's a little bit long on one side, but that's okay. I'm not like crazy about it. Not OCD about it. Yet. Maybe I will in the future, but right now it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a fucked up world, man. I feel really, 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 really bad. I don't know. Hey, I made it over the whole swamp without cutting any trees. Hey, nice, nice. So, hey, here, let me pause that for a second. I'm gonna go look real quick on Blue Sky. Let's see. Okay, let me see what are we looking at. A shot of Trump's mangled hand. You want to see this? That's Donald Trump's hand. Um, they've gotten pretty good at the makeup. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can tell on that one, but you can see that this side is the makeup. There's a lot of makeup on it, like on this area here. The makeup goes around. They're covering up. Oh shit. They're covering up the permanent bruises that Donald Trump has. Well, yeah, we call them bruises, but the administration, his team, the Trumpers, the MAGA, they call that internal bleeding. So Donald Trump has permanent internal bleeding. It'll never ever go away, and the reason is because he gets IV treatments through his hands for Alzheimer's. His dad died of not of Alzheimer's, but yeah, his dad had dementia, and so he's gonna have dementia too, and that's what they think is happening. So they have to do a fucking IV treatment to keep his brain together. Like, shit, dude. I thought we were done with Reagan, with old presidents with Alzheimer's, but I guess not, right? Then you had Biden. Like, fuck, dude. And like, here's the thing. Even though Biden's old, I wanted Bernie Sanders, who's older than Biden. I wanted Bernie Sanders. He's older than Biden. The next person I wanted was Elizabeth Warren, and she is an old person too. She's up there. Like, geez, man, who can we get to run for president in 2028? Like, is it gonna be Kamala Harris again? Dude, she's a prosecutor. Like, I don't know. Everyone wants to say Michelle Obama. I'm like, no, 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 no. No, no. I don't know who we can get for president. Well, I need more, I need some rails. Yeah, dude, it's been rough. Cold Civil War. No, there's been limited violence. Sure, I've gotten punched and pepper sprayed by Proud Boys. I mean, but the police haven't been violent to me yet. I haven't had any state violence. Well, no, wait, no, 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 no. Um, the the police did threaten. The police detained me and threatened to arrest me after the Proud Boy punched me and tried to steal my megaphone. So yeah, there was a protest. There was an out-of-state group from Washington came down from Washington to protest against the Planned Parenthood here in Salem. So I went down there to like counter protest them, and the police were there, and these people. These out-of-staters, and they had Proud Boys. The Proud Boys were their security. The out-of-staters from Washington. They had Proud Boys for security, and the Proud Boys took control of the street, the corner where because it was a church that was doing it. And they wanted to pray in public. They wanted to do a big public prayer. So the church came down from Washington to across the street from the Planned Parenthood in Salem, and they did some real big praying in public prayer, and they had Proud Boys as security, and the Proud Boys took control of the corner where the church was at outside, and they took control of the street, and they took control of the yard of Planned Parenthood. They're all over the place. So I showed up right on the scene, and I see the Proud Boys are spread out everywhere. I'm like, where can I fucking counter protest? So I was on the lawn for Planned Parenthood, like right outside their building, and with my megaphone. And where'd you come from, zombie? There shouldn't be anybody. No zombies. What are you doing? And like 7 Proud Boys came up on me and started pushing me, and they were gonna fucking beat me up. And then the police, who were off to the side, saw what happened and stopped the Proud Boys from beating me up. So then I was like, and then the cop was like, "Oh, can I get that video that you were taking of the Proud Boys? Can you give that to me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, cop. You want me to take? You want to take a video of the Proud Boys threatening to beat me up? Yes. Here, cop, take it." And I sent it to him, the cop. I forget how I did it, but I sent it to him. And then after that, the cop said, this is the lawn of Planned Parenthood. You have to get off of it. You can't protest here." So I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I look on the sidewalk in front of the Planned Parenthood, and all the Proud Boys are there. So I'm like, okay. So I walked over to the sidewalk, and I started shouting at the church, anti. Well, I was telling them not anti anything. I was telling them the Bible verse about not praying in public. No, against praying in public. That's all I was saying. And the Proud Boys surrounded me, like real tight, right? Like real tight, like in my face, all around me. And they were fucking checking me for weapons. They were literally filling me up for weapons. And the cops, right over fucking there, did nothing. They did nothing. If a bunch of like Antifa, right? Antifa people came up to a Proud Boy and surrounded them and started checking them for weapons, the cops would not stand by idly. They would move in to protect the Proud Boy. So the cops were inherently on the Proud Boys side. I mean, they are now, right? They're on Team ICE. When you look at videos of Minneapolis, it's the police that come in to save ICE every time. Like, oh, ICE is staying in a hotel. The community comes together and does a noise protest outside. And they assemble and do a noise protest. And ICE is fucked up until they can't do anything until the police show up and arrest everybody. Which they did last night. Like they did a mass kettling, and they fucking mass arrested a bunch of people to save ICE, the Minneapolis Police Department. So, like, remember, the Minneapolis Police Department was the department that fucking killed George Floyd. The police are not your friends. They never are your friends. Even that cop that took the video and stopped the Proud Boys from beating me up, he wasn't really my friend, because what happened later after after that, I think a few more people showed up and stood on my side of the street. So the Proud Boys got off the sidewalk and they were just in the street, and they were just standing in front of me trying to block my megaphone so I couldn't talk. So I'd try to move around a bunch, trying to get her, but the Proud Boy would just move up and down the street with a big board to block me. So I turned around, I looked at the cop, and the cop was like, didn't do anything. So I'm like, well, if the Proud Boy, I just go, if the Proud Boy is standing in the street to get in front of my face, I'll just go around the Proud Boy and stand in the street behind him. So I did. In order to get around this guy who kept going into my face like this, I just stood in the street like him, just like he did, and went around him. But then all the Proud Boys fucking swarmed me. All of them swarmed me. And one of them grabbed my megaphone to take the megaphone away. And so I used both hands to pull it down and pull it close to me so he couldn't yank it away. So when I was doing that, the Proud Boy, I had my hands down. So Proud Boy fucking threw a right hook at me, right, and hit me in the face, but I got my megaphone, right. So then I was like, I got away, and I saw it, and then I was getting ready to confront the Proud Boy who just punched me, and then a cop grabbed me, and fucking twisted up my arm and dragged me all the way back to the side, and said, if you fucking go on the street again, you're going under arrest. And I've turned around, and all the Proud Boys are fucking walking through the street. And I was like, just to make sure, you're saying I can't go in the street? And he's like, yes. And if you do, you're going to be under arrest. I was like, holy shit, dude. All right, so the Proud Boys own the street, according to the Salem police. Okay. As long as the police are there, the Proud Boys own the street. All right. As long as the Salem police are there, the Proud Boys own the street. If you go in the street, Proud Boys will punch you and they'll steal your property. But you can't do shit because the police will arrest you. So yeah, the police are not your friends. The Minneapolis Police Department was the department that murdered George Floyd. So yeah, the Minneapolis Police Department is the department that helps ICE. Of course, of course. All of this is leading up. I mean, okay, so essentially, what's going on is ethnic cleansing, right? Ethnic cleansing. Do you know what ethnic cleansing is? Let's be very precise, right? Wah, wah, wah. Let's be precise. Definition: ethnic cleansing. Noun: the systematic elimination of an ethnic group or groups from a region or society, as by deportation, forced emigration, or genocide. Number 2. The mass extermination or expulsion of people belonging to one ethnic or religious group by those of another. 3. The mass expulsion and killing of one ethnic or religious group in an area by another ethnic or religious group in that area. So that's a good definition of what the Trump regime is doing right now. They're number one. They are the systematic elimination of an ethnic group or groups from a region or society, as by deportation, forced emigration, or genocide. Donald Trump is looking up brown people and deporting them. It has nothing to do with criminals. It has nothing to do with legal status. It's all about whether or not you're white. That's why they're arresting people who are legal refugees. That's why they're arresting people with green cards. That's why they're arresting people with permanent legal status. Because it's all about ethnic cleansing. It came out that remember how the regime, like, let's start from like along a while ago, like under okay, remember how the regime tried to arrested and tried to deport Mahmoud Khalil. Remember that? Mahmoud Khalil. He's a Palestinian who lives here in America with permanent legal status. He's a legal resident, and he helped organize anti-genocide protests. And Marco Rubio personally wants to deport that guy. Why? Not because he committed a crime, not because he's here illegally, because he's against genocide. That's why. He's against genocide, and genocide is American policy. So Marco Rubio tried to deport Mahmoud Khalil because he opposed the genocide of American policy. I mean, the American policy, which is genocide. I mean, it's technically Israeli policy, but the Americans enable it. The Israelis could not do what they do if it wasn't for the Americans, the help of the Americans. Like, essentially, Israel is an extension of USA. So it's an ethnic cleansing, and you can tell what it is. I mean, like, that's why people can look at Israel, or you can look at Israel and like understand what's happening in the United States. Like, if you see what's happening in Israel, then you know what's happening in the United States. I mean, it hasn't gotten to the point where they're using fucking missiles on us yet. But they want to. That's why they're so extreme in their repression. They want a violent response so they can escalate. So they have pretext to escalate. I mean, they're going to escalate whether they have pretext or not. It just helps to have pretext. It helps them to have pretext. Because dumb people can't see through pretext. MAGA. Like, okay, you know how like Taiwan and China, like, it's technically it's not Taiwan. Technically it's the Republic of China. And China is the People's Republic of China. So each China is declaring to be the true China, the real China. Each one is declaring to be the real China. Taiwan is where there was a civil war between the China, like the Maoists and I forget the name of the other guy. The other people. And the other people lost, and they fled to Taiwan. So they're the remnants of what used to be like the government of China before the communists took over. So each country is claiming to be China, and the United States official policy is that there's one China. But the United States never specifies which China is the one China. So it's the same thing when I have conversations with MAGA on Facebook. Like, they don't come out and say they're MAGA, but you know they are. So there was a story. There was a story in the news that the National Guard deployment to the cities has cost like $500 million. $500 million to deploy the National Guard to all these cities. To do what? To terrorize people. And a guy mentioned, you know, you could have given homeless people in D.C., there's like 5,000 homeless people in D.C., you could have given them like $40,000 each for the cost it took to activate the National Guard, fly them to DC, and then to destroy the camps of homeless people. It was more expensive to fly in the National Guard to destroy the camps of homeless people than it would be to just give homeless people $40,000 so they're not homeless anymore. Because you still have homeless people. Even though you spent all that money, you still have homeless people, but now they're even weaker because you took away their shelter and you destroyed all their possessions. You still have homeless people. You just have $500 million less money. And you have homeless people. You could have spent that $500 million, gave it to the homeless people, and have no more homeless people. But then that would have solved the homeless problem. No, and that's not what you wanted to do. What Donald Trump wanted to do was send in the military. He didn't fucking care about the homeless people. He didn't really care about the crime. All he wanted to do was send in the military to enforce his control. Because he's a fascist. He's a tyrant. Donald Trump is not legitimate. I have to be real careful when I start talking about him. There's a guy running for Attorney General in Ohio, and his platform is he wants to kill Donald Trump. And then he explains, oh well, let me explain what I mean when I say I want to kill Donald Trump. What do you mean, candidate for Attorney General? He means, when he says that, he means he wants to put Donald Trump on trial for treason, and if Donald Trump is found guilty, to give Donald Trump the lawful penalty of death, as per the law. The law says the penalty for treason is death. So the attorney general, who was running for attorney general for Ohio, wants to put Donald Trump on trial for treason, and if he's found guilty, give him the lawful penalty of death. Hey, I've been saying that since January 7th, 2021. I've been saying the same thing. That's funny. That's hilarious. I hope that guy wins. Right, so you know I'm not just talking shit. Oh, is over here. Profile. What did I do with it? Where'd it go? This guy. Oh no. You can't see it because ethnic cleansing is still up. That's what's going on in the United States, ethnic cleansing, under Donald Trump. Here, this one right here. This one says, I am going to kill Donald Trump. Ohio Attorney General candidate shocks with video statements. Elliot Forhan, a Democrat running for Ohio Attorney General, caused instant backlash on Tuesday after posting a video on social media in which he talked about how he wants to kill Donald Trump. How do you want to kill Donald Trump? I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I'm going to kill Donald Trump. Put him on trial for his treasonous crimes, etc. Convict him, then execute him under the color of many currently codified U.S. laws. Campaign video has a lot of people asking a lot of questions already answered by his video. I agree. I support Elliot Forhan. I support him. Yeah, Donald Trump is a fucking corrupt man. He's super corrupt. Like, I would prefer that he go on trial, be found guilty, and then be executed by current U.S. law. That would be the best way, because that would prove to everyone that the rule of law in the United States is firm. But I would find it acceptable if Donald Trump would just die of natural causes, like a stroke. He's pretty unhealthy. So. And you can tell he's already suffered a few strokes already. So. He just needs to get put out of his misery, or out of our misery. Oh yeah, here, check this out. So you can like look. Oh, I took away the smelting stuff because it was causing a lot of lag because of all the pretty lights and stuff. I mean, like every one of those cauldrons was a light source, and it just ate my video card. So I moved it to here. La la la. So it still eats my video card, but it's contained to this room now. And I have 3 stations. I have one for food, one for ore, and one for general purpose. And then the nice little route up. It's like, ooh, you can see where the lava is. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we're living through a fucking ethnic cleansing campaign in the United States. A modern day ethnic cleansing campaign. He fucking campaigned on it and won. There's enough white supremacists in this nation to elect a president. Holy fuck. What's funny is that a lot of the white supremacists are not even white themselves. You fools. Yeah, I should probably delete this live stream, dude. You said too much shit. I've said too much already. Dude, I've eaten a lot of shit resisting Donald Trump by myself, pretty much. Cut off family members, dude. Most of my family are MAGAs. I saved my mom, though. Thank God. I saved my mom from being a MAGA. She was turning, right? Because, you know, she would call her friend up on the phone, her out-of-state friend. They were friends back in high school. She'd call up her friend on their phone. Her friend is a lot wealthier than my mom. And her friend has other wealthy friends who, like, and that's the only people she listens to are her wealthy friends. And her wealthy friends listen to Fox News. So her wealthy friends would talk to her, and then she would call my mom and tell my mom all sorts of fucking crazy things. And then my mom would repeat them to me. And I would go apeshit. And my mom wouldn't understand why I was going apeshit. And like, it took years to get her to understand that her brain was getting poisoned by her friend. And to like, because her friend would tell her all these things, and then she'd ask me if it was true or not. So she'd basically have her friend give me homework assignments. She'd ask me if it's true or not. I'm like, your friend's always lying to you. She's always lying to you. She gives you homework all the time. Watch. You try to give your friend homework and she won't do it. And that's exactly what happened. My mom tried to give her friend homework and said, why don't you prove some of these things first? Like, look up things and send me a link. And her friend would never do it. Never, 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 never. Never. Why? Like, what is that dynamic? What is the dynamic when there's a person that just absolutely you cannot give them information? Like, they refuse to look. They won't look. They won't even look. Like, what has happened to a person like that? What has happened? Oh. This right here.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand.
There's nothing to do with espionage. Only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare.
Okay, so the vast majority of resources was spent not on espionage. These are the Russians, right? The KGB, the Russians. Most of their money wasn't spent on espionage. It was spent on a slow process, which he called active measures in the Russian language, or psychological warfare. So the vast majority of money spent by the Russians against the Americans was based on psychological warfare. Okay? Understand that. So Americans have been under psychological warfare attack for fucking decades, right? Because it was a slow process. However, something happened to greatly increase the rate at which these things happen. That invention is called the internet.
What it basically means is to change the perception of reality.
Change the perception of reality, right? They want to change the perception of reality because for a lot of people, what you perceive is what is real. Like, so perceiving is reality for them. So if you perceive things, it's real. If you can perceive it. If you see it, you believe it. So if you can change the way people perceive things, then you change what they believe. Right? So the goal of psychological warfare was to change the way people perceive reality.
Every American, to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
So it is to take control. So psychological warfare is to change the perception of reality of every American, so they're unable to come to a sensible conclusion about defending themselves, their families, or their country. Right. They have to change remember, the Russians spent all their fucking money doing this psychological warfare to change the perception of reality so people can't defend themselves. Despite the abundance of information, you can give them all the info they need to make a good decision, and they will reject it for a bad decision.
You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible.
Demoralization. It's called demoralization. So my mom's friend is demoralized. Demoralized. She no longer believes in the United States. She no longer believes in goodness. She no longer believes in truth. It's all about what feels like it's about what her friends say. That's what's important. What's really important, the thing that's really important is what her friends say. Because if she rocks the boat, she's going to upset her friends, and her friends will leave her and she'll be alone. She doesn't want to lose her friends. No, she's not going to say anything. You see how that works?
To get
so you can tell, I can tell my mom's friend all sorts of things. I could show her links. I could show her videos. She won't say anything. She looked at remember the Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute? She saw that. A boomer. She's a boomer, right? She's a boomer. I don't know if her dad went into World War II, but I know she fucking knew about it. I know she knew about World War II. I know she knows about what a Nazi is. She saw what the Nazi salute that Elon Musk did, and my mom asked her what that was, and she said she didn't know. That's the thing about the MAGAs, right? They can selectively shut off parts of their brain. They selectively shut off their brain so they don't threaten. They don't do anything that would threaten. So even though it was clearly a Nazi salute, if you're a MAGA, you know that Nazis are bad. So it couldn't be a Nazi salute, right? Because because the MAGAs believe themselves to be good. So how could they, a good person, be on the same team as a Nazi? It's impossible. Therefore, that must not be a Nazi salute. Oh my God. Right? That's the demoralized person. That's the way a demoralized person thinks. demoralized people think they're good. Therefore, all the bad signs they see about them aren't actually bad. They're not really bad. They couldn't be, because they're a good person and they wouldn't be around bad things. So therefore, those things must not be really bad. They must actually be good. Like, they know, I mean, like, I don't know. They must know that Donald Trump is evil, right? They must know that, right? They must know that he's a criminal, that he's a rapist. Like, they must know, and they must just think that he gets a pass, that he's allowed to do it because he's the leader. So he's allowed to be immoral. I guess because they say because he's a tool for God. God's using him as a tool. Well, their God, right? Not the God. Their God. The white idol. The white idol is using Donald Trump as a tool. Therefore, it's okay if Donald Trump is immoral, because the immorality is done in the name of the white idol. Therefore, it's justified. That's the white idol is the idol of the MAGA. The MAGA is that they pray to the white idol. They have churches to the white idol. They name the guy. They talk about a guy named Jesus a lot, but Jesus and the white idol have nothing to do with each other. It's so funny. A lot of the actually, what surprised me was that a lot of the Christians don't actually follow Jesus. Who they follow is Paul. Paul was a disciple of Jesus. He used to be a Roman soldier, and then he quit being a Roman soldier and started following Jesus. And then after Jesus died, Paul was the guy who started the first Christian church. So a lot of the teachings about Christianity come from Paul. And like, I never read anything that Paul said. I'm sorry. I know he did, like, in Acts, right? There's a whole section called Acts about after Jesus died. That has Paul and stuff. I never fucking looked into it, right? I never looked into it. I only read Matthew, which basically says, this is what Jesus said. This is what Jesus said and did. That's it. That's all I did, right? And I'm like, when you just do it like that, when you just look at what Jesus said and did, like, pretty fucking cool, man. Like, I don't understand all this other stuff, this Christianity stuff that came afterwards. I don't get it. It doesn't seem to match, you know? I look at the salt shakers, the salt shakers. It's a Christian group that harasses the LGBTQ community, and they claim to be Christian. And I'm like, but you have nothing to do with Jesus. I don't understand the two. Like, what's going on? Like, how can you say that when you have nothing to do with Jesus? But yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. This country is fucked. The country, like, America is changing. It's always changing. And it was changing for the good until Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump was like the reincarnation of the Confederacy. I mean, literally, right? Because Donald Trump changed the army base names back to Confederate names. Donald Trump brought back a Confederate statue and put it in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump did January 6th and brought the Confederate battle flag into the Capitol. The Confederate battle flag has never ever made it to inside the Capitol until Donald Trump. Donald Trump brought the Confederate battle standard inside the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol. So, I mean, yeah, they're the fucking reincarnation of the Confederacy. That's pretty obvious. And they're doing an ethnic cleansing campaign. They're the modern-day slave catchers. Which means you, American, need to join the modern-day Underground Railroad. Oh, you don't know about that? Maybe you should organize one. Underground Railroad. Yeah, I'm not a gun guy, dude. I don't know anything about guns. I'm not much about fighting. But an underground railroad sounds pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Yuri Bezmenov is saying that there's no way of saving MAGA. That once they go MAGA, you can't save them. They're gone forever. I don't know if that's true, but it's been but in my experience, he's right. Once you go MAGA, it's over. You can't come back. Like my cousins, I just got yeah. Did I tell you that yet? I just got off of, or I had a text exchange with a cousin of mine who went MAGA, and I told him, look, choose between me or Trump, and he chose Trump. So, right? I don't know. I guess those pedophiles are pretty fucking cool, dude. I don't know. I mean, to other, if that's what you're into, I guess. I don't know. But he chose Trump against me. Look at the kitty. Don't burn. Yeah, the kitty's not gonna burn. But you have nowhere to go, kitty. Like, you can't go anywhere. If you fall, you're gonna die. That cat is kind of screwed. Wonder how long they'll be there. Will you stay there forever? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Other workers at my office came to the defense of MAGA and fucked with me. Work from home now, man. All right. Well, let's see. Let me show you this real quick. This is the item elevator that I was telling you about. It's real simple. You input here, Goes into there, item deposited in there, and it'll just go up, up, up. Like that, see? The item in here goes back and forth. That changes the pulse, that pulses this thing up here, and it just sends the items up to the top. Like that. Not very fast, right? It's pretty slow, but that's okay. If you need faster, you can make a water elevator. Ta-da! And then here's that auto crafter. Right now it's set up, well, not really set up for anything, but it would go down in here. It'll put out a signal, but it's blocked by this signal because this signal is like at like 9 or maximum 15. So this one would have to wait till it's 15 for it to match this signal. Once it matches, then it can get through, and it will power this block, which will power this redstone, which powers this repeater, which powers this block, which powers the thing, and poops it out and shoots it out. Ta-da! Sunrise! So I hope Chuck Schumer didn't fuck us, because that would suck. I would be really, really, really sad if Chuck Schumer just fucked us. I'm hoping that he's betting the Republicans can't do it on the House side anymore. That's my hope. Because otherwise, he just betrayed us all. Dems he betrayed the Dems, took away their leverage, to allow ICE to continue their ethnic cleansing campaign. Because we're a long way from an immigration enforcement activity now. We're a long way from that. There's no way, like, this is an extortion attempt. Remember, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, already said we will stop the ICE thing if Minnesota gives up its voter rolls to the Trump team. So it's not immigration; it's trying to force Minnesota to give up its elections. So Dems were going to stop it, but Schumer took away their leverage, or it appears. Like, maybe I'm wrong, and there's like stuff I don't know about, but it certainly looks like Schumer screwed us. I hope he didn't screw us. So you need wheat for lots of things. You need it for horses, for sheep, for cows. You need it for mud bricks. You need wheat for target blocks. Like, you just need a lot of wheat, like a stupid amount of wheat. Yeah, we got to keep it together, Americans. Donald Trump is going to try to fuck the election, so we got to make sure that we get everybody to vote this time. And even then, they're going to try to do some shit. Like the Republicans will just refuse to certify it and say, oh no, we're not going to certify this election, it was fraudulent. based on nothing. Based on we would lose if we did this. So we got to keep it together. I don't know what that means. I mean, like, if you can make an underground railroad like system, if you're in an area where that can help, then yeah, you should fucking totally do that. That's absolutely appropriate to organize an underground railroad. Just like and keep yourself healthy, because that's the other hard part is like maintaining your existence here on the planet. Keep it going. It'll do no good if you're dead. Maintain yourself. Take care of yourself. All right. I think that's enough for me. I might just delete this. I don't know. All right. Peace. Stop.